Without any doubt, it is now, more than any other time in my journey here with Mgtow, that it has become of great value. What Mgtow does is it points to the world as it is, not to any sugar-coated image of the world. And what we see in this world is sickness. And the sickness comes from Karens and those in the gynocentric system who demand things, and they demand such crazy things and insane things that what we get is tyranny. And the only way to combat this tyranny is to ghost that tyranny. Any type of resistance to the tyranny only causes that tyranny to increase. And it doesn't take a genius to figure out that eventually people are going to get upset. And then they're going to start rioting, and then there's going to be more and more. And then it's going to eventually result in the army being called out. And we then see the destruction of a country. And that is where we're at now. Americans are waking up to their own imprisonment and not liking it very much. Somebody has taken away the freedoms, not only of Americans, but of men in America. And maybe women don't need the freedom. They don't want the freedom. Their group dynamics are collectivist. But for men, it's not. And so, what we're seeing is the end of the experiment of democratic socialism, of people voting to reach into other people's pockets and enslaving them. And the end of the social engineers. The rioting, in the final analysis, will not be of any value whatsoever. And I think Lion of Mgtow pointed that out well. That there are better courses of action. One is to recognize that despite the fact they think they're under color of law or qualified immunity, they are not in matters that violate the U.S. Constitution. And that right now I am calling for Americans to stand up in a giant class action lawsuit and to sue the hell out of anyone who had anything to do with this debacle. And debacle it is. A complete waste of everyone's time. I don't know whether I'm up. Maybe I should check and see whether I'm up. Do a sound check. And we have excellent condition here. Waste of... Yeah, there we go with the sound check. So this is where we are. This May 30th in the morning. 2020. I welcome everyone showing up. We've got a few people here already. And we'll see who's lurking and who's coming in. At least this week I make it up on time. And that's a good thing. I don't know what's going to happen. But what we need to do is impress upon men sanity, freedom, and self-preservation within this gynocentric system. It has been incremental over the past hundreds of years to remove men's rights one at a time, a little bit here, a little bit there. And now what we get is somebody telling men to stay in their homes and to put on these masks for no scientific reason whatsoever. And it's just a reason of pandering to people's fear. And this week I had an opportunity to do some research and find out exactly why Mr. Tedros and group from the WHO declared a pandemic. And we are going to say declared a pandemic because it's not a pandemic. They declared a pandemic and no one came. No one has died of COVID-19. No one has gotten sick from it. And there is no scientific evidence, no modern scientific evidence to show that there has been. All there is screeching people. Look, someone's died and they tested positive. Look, someone's died and they've tested positive. This is called correlation. Correlation is not causation. What we need to do is determine causation. And frankly, given that we have, 14 now symptoms of this illness, is basically everything, there's no way to determine causation. Just on the face of it. But still, the experiment can be conducted. The experiment's name is Koch's postulates. Has not been done. Why? Because nobody cares about modern science, and modern science is one of the great creations of men in order to control the world around them. And based upon this discovery 400 years ago, 500 years ago, we have been able to create such great things. And now it's all for naught, because the systems now are crashing in on themselves because there's been an abandonment of modern science. Koch's postulates has been apparently thrust into the dustbin of history just in time to allow the community to eat itself in fear. And so we have two solitudes. We have those who are fearful of anything, taking psychiatric pills, most likely, and demanding that people socially distance and wear masks and fear something they cannot see and which cannot be proven. And those who are asking for proof and getting silence and getting told by authorities. And then, yes, we have the spark, and the spark is another man who is told, or maybe this man is a psychopath, I don't know, but he was put in a position of power over other people with a gun and a badge, and he killed a man with other men with badges and guns standing around watching the whole debacle. And then they had the temerity to lie about it and say that this man had resisted arrest. Well, he certainly had not, so now we have the lies. Then they get fired, but that doesn't end it. The justice should have been that the chief of police resigned in shame, because obviously that chief of police cannot control his men and is thus not a chief. And so this is what we're looking at. We're looking at the end of any type of system of accountability, any type of system of transparency, any type of system of responsibility. And so we see riots now breaking out in many American cities, and as they did in cities around the world, when you refuse to allow people to go about their normal business, their lawful business, free of people screaming at them with no basis whatsoever. And so we go back to March 11th in that news conference held by Dr. Tedros et al. And they said, well, we've had reports from a number of countries, namely 4, and a number of other countries have reported testing positive, having positive cases. But we have deaths in 4 countries, so we are declaring this a pandemic. Not once in that news conference did Tedros or anyone in my watching of it refer to modern science, refer to science at all, refer to any scientific testing, refer to any cause and effect established between a microorganism and an illness. No, not once. It's like we have assumptions here. People assume that the World Health Organization is going to refer to modern science, but they don't. They refer to the Chinese. They refer to the Iranian governments. Ooh, I think that now we have really jumped the crocodile. Policy now in America is determined by communist governments, by theocracies, and by apparently the South Korean government, which wanted to rid itself of a particularly troublesome religious sect, and the Italian government, which was in disarray before, after, and for most of my life. So this is what we see now causing the dismemberment of the empire. And the empire will continue on because there's larger historical forces at work, and we're here to watch the movement of the capital. And we want to know where that capital city is going to move to. Yeah, we may have our guesses. But what we're seeing is that Washington is, people are leveraging this to try to attack the president or not. And the president's saying, look at all these rioters and thugs. Well, the thugs apparently are the people who put their knees on other people's throats for no apparent reason and do so with a gun and a badge. And this is clear to me and anyone else that somebody with a gun and a badge should not be doing this. Washington is people are leveraging this to try to attack the president or not. And the president's... Well. I welcome everyone. Nobody's in the chat yet. One wonders why. Anyone lurking out there? Anyway, we'll continue on. Wait for people to come in. And that was my opening statement. So we'll see who's going to come in. This week I get on in time, and I'm just going to play a little music, read some emails, and come back on. Let's do it. Number 3.
First we take Manhattan, and then we take Berlin. I don't like your fashion business, mister. I don't like these drugs that keep you thin. And I don't like what happened to my sister. First we take Manhattan, and then we take Berlin, and then we take Berlin. Yes, then we take Berlin. Oh, yeah. We take Berlin. Oh, yeah.
Well, that was it. There's a war on, and this war is going to continue. And up until the very end of this war. I'm going to attempt to continue an open forum.
We take Berlin.
Well, that was it. That was it. There we go. We had a sound check. And I hit the wrong button and messed it up. And we'll try to redo things here, get it normal, in case somebody comes in. I don't know where anyone is today, and hoping everyone's doing well. In fact, I'm having some trouble here. Isn't that interesting? You know, half of me thinks that I'm being blocked because this is happening. And all around the net, we've got some attacks upon freedom of speech. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? I can't seem to get the chat in there. Oh, this is funny. This is indeed funny. Not that anyone's in chatting yet, but this is indeed a funny thing. And, well, as I struggle here to reconstruct what should be an easy thing to do. Yeah. I think I got in trouble with someone. They're refusing my live chat now on the OBS. What an odd thing to do. What an odd thing to do. This has worked flawlessly for the past so many months. And now today we seem to be having trouble. I wonder if I'm going up. Let me just check here. No, I'm not being listed. Holy shit, they're completely taking me down. I think I'm being taken down. Ah, well, we'll have to find out. We'll keep on going and figure out a way around this, because this isn't going to stand. Let me see if I can check what's going on. There we go. Oh my, this is getting funny. Oh, I know what's going on. I know what's going on. Okay, well, that was funny. Indeed it was. We will try to reestablish a connection here. And we'll see what's going on. I did a sound check and it's not working. But we'll find out. We'll find out what's going on. And okay, what's going to happen is I'm going to end this and then we'll come back up. So, end stream.